seconds to secure the 87-81 victory. Also in the night going up against Stephon Marbury, who's had a 4 for 18 night. And there's the matchup again. Artest versus Johnson. Artest, no. Artest battling several bulls. And he is fouled. And the crowd responding to the hustle of Ron Artest. And Linton Johnson has his second personal foul. The ex-Bull Artest has been the high scorer in the first 2 games against Chicago with 23 and 26 points. And he continues to hammer away. The former Bull, who scored 26 points against Chicago in their last meeting in Chicago. That was the final game before the All-Star break. And now coming out and trying to put some points on the board in a hurry here late in the second quarter. Don't miss the series that has taken Europe by storm. It's high-stakes late-night poker, and it's only on Fox to see what's keeping Europe up nights. Late-night poker comes to Fox Sports Net weeknights at 11:30 Eastern Time. One more shot for Ron Artest. Last 3 games, he's been averaging 22 points and shooting just shy of 60% from the floor, which means that touch with the left hand is getting better, and the thumb surgery has been healing properly as he plays through it. Just missed the minimum of the 5 games on the injured list coming out of that thumb surgery. Pacers by a dozen. Heinrich, who was at 18 points in the first game and 11 assists in the second game against Indiana. These 2 teams have split the first 2. Both those games in Chicago, last 2 games here. Matter of fact, the Bulls will be in here the final game of the season, April 14th, to wrap things up. Tinsley looking to work with Artest. Artest and Johnson. He gets the step, he gets the hoop, and he gets fouled.
I mean, that's just beautiful. He is so strong and quick. I mean, that combination at that position is just unique. I mean, watch how quick he turns the corner. Linton is recovering, and by the time he recovers, Ron has already started into the shot.
But he is so difficult because he could shoot it with either hand. So he has the angles. He has 40 pounds on Johnson. And he sends Johnson to the bench with his 3rd foul. So Ron Artest bothered by Johnson in the opening minutes. It appears as if Ron is on his way getting the last laugh in this one. Yeah. The lead now extends to 15.
Part of it had to do, I think, when Ron Artest made a switch in his footwear. He did. He changed shoes. You have to notice these kind of things.
That is why you are the best in the business.
Please.
Curry banging inside. And now the pass out to Tinsley. Back pass, Reggie.
Well, I tell you, Tinsley's really looking for Reggie. He threw the ball back across over Al's head, trying to get it to Reggie at the 3-point line. He's so intent on getting Reggie's shot.
Leaves the Pacers with 15 seconds to shoot. Missing a trick. Here is Artest with Davis out on him. Tinsley, he's another 3. That is 3 from downtown. This one just outside of Zionsville.
I'm telling you,
Tinsley. So he has taken only those 3 shots. And he has been dead solid perfect. So Tinsley with 9, Reggie Miller with 6. The starting backcourt bouncing back after a couple of down games against Sacramento and Memphis. Reminder, don't go away. Chevy halftime report with Scott Hope is coming up. 2.5 minutes to go in this first half, and the Pacers now approach wins or Detroit losses, and that will be it. Indiana with 13 games to go, and Detroit with a very favorable schedule. 11 games left, 7 at home. But the way they're playing doesn't matter where they're playing or who they're playing.
You listen to teams like Cleveland, who was one of the teams that they blitzed, and they'll tell you it is by far the best that they have been defended. And some of it has to do with Rasheed Wallace. That helps, I think, tremendously, that pickup. But Lindsey Hunter and Mike James, their backup guards, do a nice job of challenging the point of attack, and I think that's helped them as Al Harrington sits down with his third foul.
The Pacers have won all 3 games against Detroit this year, and will face them for the first time with Rasheed. Showdown in Detroit on Sunday, April 4th, afternoon ball game at the Palace. Artest, his strength, able to continue through, and then it's the hustle of Foster to keep it alive, and a reset of the 24. Artest versus Shirley, who cuts off the baseline. Artest tries again. Foster gets stripped.
Yeah, that time Heinrich got to it. Shirley did a good job of just keeping his body between the basket and Artest.
And Foster, the strapping, gets the inside track on Curry. 6 rebounds already by Foster, go along with 5 points. He has hit the double figures in the last couple of games. Has not done it 3 times in a row this year. Tinsley goes behind the back. Now he wheels. 6 on the shot clock. Tinsley still with it. Again, he makes the move, but can't complete what would have been a highlight stretch for Tinsley. I say stretch because it took the entire 24 seconds.
Except for you, Carlisle. Who just watched his point guard dribble for about 13 seconds.
Not on his highlight reel.
No.
But it was dazzling to watch. That's his second personal foul. Just under a minute to go, and AD, who has been very quiet here tonight, just 4 points. Wednesday night, Dallas Mavericks, their lone stop of the season. Conseco Fieldhouse tickets are available at all Ticketmaster outlets. Shop online at Pacers.com or ConsecoFieldhouse.com. Last 2 times Mavericks in the last 2 years. What great games. Last year, Thanksgiving night, Mavericks had won 14 in a row to start the regular season after an NBA record of 15. Pacers beat them, and then 2 years ago, you remember that classic double overtime game? Mavericks won it 141 to 140. Sensational series with the Mavericks, and the Pacers won in Dallas their first meeting this year. Mavericks in Philadelphia tonight.
Be nice to sweep them.
And now it's Gill back the other way as Shirley ahead of the crowd. And there is Paul Shirley, who just, well, he called a timeout as he was trapped there along the baseline. Scott Skiles will talk it over. There's the time to go in the period and the shot clock. And we'll return with the Pacers leading by 15 over the Bulls. There is Tinsley making the turn, handling the ball quite a bit, but he's in double figures at the buzzer. And Heinrich almost banks it in. So the Indiana Pacers versus the Chicago Bulls. And it's a 17-point game at halftime. And Jamal Tinsley pouring it in after a couple of down games, as well as Reggie Miller. And the Pacers lead at halftime here on Fox Sports Net.
Been doing recently. Let's see if they can hang on to that lead and sustain the defense here in the second half. Ron Artest tonight, 9 points for Indiana throughout the first half. You know, sometimes we wonder, what do the guys do when they're not playing basketball, when they're not practicing basketball? Obviously, they've got a lot of free time. So we caught up with Ron recently as he relaxed in his own home recording studio. Check this out.
There's a lot of days off in the NBA besides practice. Actually, not a lot of days off. You have some time to yourself. So when I'm not doing nothing, I can just come into the studio and, you know, get creative. Some days I'll just sit and listen to music. Other days I might start recording.
We gonna party all day. What you gonna say when I come through? Move, get out my way.
I write it on my own lyrics. You know, you have a little tough time writing, you know, your players will help you, but for the most part, I write my own lyrics. Just being creative.
Flow 10 pages, hit the dance floor, QB in the house, party outrageous.
Days where you just want to relax and sort of get away from, you know, the outside stuff or a lot of the negative stuff that's happening in the world. You can always go listen to, you know, the Manhattans or the old days and, you know, just feel good.
Red gold tank top, body like Rocky.
Next time I hear that track, it'll be done.
Did we hear a reference to Quinn Buckner in there? QB in the house? Well, QB is in the house tonight, so is Ron. In fact, Ron, in the first half, 9 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a couple of block shots, and 2 pairs of shoes for the Pacers. We'll continue with our halftime report from Conseco Fieldhouse momentarily. Pacers up big on the Bulls at the break. Scoring Chicago's reserves 14-2 as we continue with the Chevy Dealers halftime report from Conseco Fieldhouse. Let's check out what else is going on in terms of the other teams in the Central Division right now. There you see the Pacers at 50-19. Detroit, the only serious challenger in the division, 5 games behind the Pacers. They have won 8 games in a row. The Bulls, of course, down there at the bottom. And let's check out what Indiana and Detroit have coming up in the final, 3 weeks or so of the regular season. Of course, the regular season ends with these 2 teams, Chicago and Indiana, meeting on April 14th. The Pacers 13 games after tonight, including tonight, actually. Detroit, 11 games. They are off tonight. The magic number for Indiana to clinch the Central Division and clinch the Eastern Conference Championship, the regular season championship, is now 7. If Detroit should continue to storm into the picture more significantly, and it's pretty far-fetched to say it at this point that they should end up in a tie, the Pacers do have the tiebreaker over the Detroit Pistons. Right now, we've got to wrap things up on our Central Indiana Chevy Dealers halftime report. It's been brought to you by Silverado.
And he is going toe-to-toe with Artest tonight. And, you know, he was in training camp, was very impressive. They liked his size and his athleticism, but they thought he was only a body for training camp. And he stuck. Then they cut him halfway through the season, and they just picked him up. But he has started, this is his 10th start. So here you go, Quinn. Here's a guy, he's either not on the team or he's a starter. He's trying to figure this thing out.
And that is definitely one extreme to the other.
Heinrich, who was the 4th leading rookie scorer in the league this year. He is #1 in assists and in threes among the rookies. And he's actually in the top 10 in the league in assists. And there again, it's Linton Johnson and Artest getting tangled. And Johnson will get his 4th personal foul.
Nothing like this in NBDL. I'm sorry. Ron Artest is just a specimen.
Yeah, but Johnson is in his face. You got to give him credit up against the tough guy of the Pacers, and there they go again.
Yeah, I like his fight.
And
I think that's what Scott Skiles like.
Yeah, that's why he's starting.
Yeah.
When he's on the team. And Artest had to respect that. And there's a quick foul on the reach-in by Artest, so he gets his... no, they'll call it on Reggie Miller. I was wondering, where was that foul on Artest? So Reggie gets his 2nd personal foul. Reggie in his 17th season at the age of 38, getting a day off after the back-to-backs over the weekend, which you could tell affected Reggie's shooting. He has been a red-hot scorer the previous 2 weeks. And shooting at a terrific percentage, and that is another turnover on the Bulls, their 13th. And feeding it back, speaking of Reggie Miller, sprinting to the other end of the floor and draws the foul. So Tinsley finds his man, 7th assist for Tinsley. And the Pacers lead now with Reggie going to the foul line is 1 foul shot away from 20 points. Timeout, Chicago.
Very good if that was the biggest shot that I have, but he certainly remembers that time. It's very special for he and his teammates, guys.
Well, he went on to become an All-American at Michigan State. Averaged 27 points a game, 2nd scorer in the nation, and became a 1st-round pick of the Milwaukee Bucks. Back in play, Kendall Gill unleashes, and Jermaine O'Neal back on the floor whisks that one away. Jermaine already with 6 rebounds in just 11 minutes. Jermaine 8th leading rebounder in the league. Ron Artest is back in, and Linton Johnson not on the floor.
Jermaine is down now.
It's been a rough pass for O'Neal, who is clutching his right leg and his knee. And a 20-second timeout is called. So O'Neal, who was bumped, it appeared to hurt his ankle earlier.
Oh, he hyperextended that thing. Oh, my goodness.
Waddle to Dupree.
Yeah, he's running out there. That's after the fact, but he almost hit Jermaine about thigh high, and you can see the knee flex back. You get a chance to take a look at it.
So the Pacers All-Star MVP candidate lying on the floor, and
with Jermaine, but that's surely how you can get hurt.
Johnson all the time in the world. And Jermaine O'Neal had just been substituted, just came into the game because the Pacers had missed 7 straight field goals. And Rick Carlisle felt he had to generate some offense. Artest busts out from behind. He's being bothered again by Dupree and by Shirley.
I put my hands up because I knew Shirley was looking to get close to the table.
Yeah, he was surely coming here, and it is Harrington. Pacers lead it by 13. 4.5 minutes gone by in this second quarter. Jamal Tinsley getting ready to come in. Whistle here. So now Harrington way outside. Harrington shrugs at that whistle. Well, Sunday at 5, possible playoff preview. Could it be number 1 versus number 8? The Pacers against the red-hot Heat, who won 5 in a row. Lamar Odom and Dwayne Wade and company. Tickets are available. Ticketmaster, or you can just shop online at Pacers.com or Conseco Fieldhouse.com. Although right now, Miami doing a pretty good job of rising above that 8th spot in the East. And rising above the crowd, Kendall Gill for his first field goal. The 14-year veteran, the Chicago native, signing this season with the Bulls.
You know, Al, the one thing that may come out of this, as see, Chicago's gone through a little bit of zone, is the Pacers may do a better job as a team with their team defense. Because what happens is, with no Jermaine O'Neal, you don't have a shot blocker. So now the challenge is to not let people get to the goal.
And Jermaine already has 3 in the first quarter. That's on Chandler, and that is his 3rd already. So Chandler has played 5 minutes. And those are his numbers.
Not his night.
Jamal Tinsley on, as is Kirk Heinrich for the Chicago Bulls. It is Gill all over Jones. Tough pass there by Artest, but Harrington scrambling for it, and he can't get it. Pacers 50-19. They're stalled at 50, though. They've had a couple of cracks at it, losing at home to Sacramento with a second to go on a Mike Bibby jumper by 2 points, and then losing in Memphis in the closing seconds by 4. Heinrich, the 3-point threat, so Tinsley is up on him. Antonio Davis, quick. Only his second field goal. AD averaging just 9 points a game this season, as well as 9 rebounds. He has not scored 20 in a game this year, as high as 18. Artest, slow start, just 1 field goal, and has really been bothered by the young Bulls. There's a couple of fouls, including a flagrant. This is Dupree. Heinrich cutting around the big screen by Curry, and he finds Curry cutting the basket.
Well, Curry has pretty good hands, because that was a hot pass, and he was able to catch it, because I thought the defense had cut Curry off.
6 straight points.